all other books. First of all, it is only in a form of book at all. In reality, it is a part of life, of action. It is a turning point in European history, a late turning point, but a real one. There is nothing original in the content of this book. The book itself is only original. The craze for originality is a manifestation of decadence, and the decadence of Europe is an ascendancy of the barbarian. This is one of a line of works, the political literature of Europe. Henceforth, all political works on the imperative side have been addressed to one nation of Europe alone. Among other things, this book marks the end of rationalism. It does not bring it about, not books, but only the advance of history can accomplish anything of that sort. It merely rings its funeral knell. Thus, the important side of life returns to its pristine source, the will to power. Henceforth, there is no discussion of action in terms of abstract thought. It is addressed to all of Europe, and in particular to the culture-bearing stern of Europe. It summons Europe to a world historical struggle of 2 centuries' duration. Europe will partake in this struggle either as a participant or as the booty for marauding powers from without. If it is to act, and not merely to suffer in its original series of gigantic wars, it must be integrated, and there is only one way that this can occur. The Western culture is suffering from disease. And the prolongation of this disease is the prolongation of Chinese conditions in Europe. The word Europe changes its meaning. From now on, it means the Western civilization, the organic unity which created the phases of its life of the nation ideas of Spain, Italy, France, England, and Germany. These former nations are all dead. The era of political nationalism has passed. This has not happened through logical necessity, but through the organic advance of the history of the West. This is this organic necessity which is the source of our imperative and the integration of Europe. The significance of the organic is that thus alternatives are either to do the necessary or to sicken and die. The present chaos, 1948, is directly traceable to the attempt to prevent integration of Europe. As a result, Europe is in a swamp, and extra-European forces dispose of former European nations as their colonies. As this book are the precise organic foundations of the Western soul, and in particular, is imperative at this present stage. Either Europe will become totally integrated or will pass entirely out of history. Its peoples will be dispersed. Its efforts and brains will be at the spoil forever extra-European forces. This is shown herein not by abstract formulae and intellectualized theories, but organically and historically. The conclusions, therefore, are not arbitrary, not a subject for choosing or rejecting, but absolutely compelling to minds which wish to take part of these affairs. The real author is the spirit of age, and its commands do not admit of argumentation, and their sanction is the crushing might of history, bringing defeat, humiliation, death, and chaos. I condemn here at the outset the miserable plans of retarded souls to unite Europe as economic area for purposes of exploitation by and defense of imperialism and of extra-European forces. The integration of Europe is not subject for plans, but for expression. It needs but to be recognized that the articulation of the 19th century economic thinking is entirely incapable. Not by trade and banking, not by importing and exporting, but heroism alone can liberate that integrated soul of Europe which lies under the financial trickery of retarders. The petty statism of party politicians and occupying armies of extra-European forces. The imperative of integration of Europe takes from the unity of people, race, nation, state, society, will, and naturally also economy. Spiritual unity of Europe is there. Its liberation will automatically allow for the full blooming of extra phases of the organic unity, which all flow from spiritual. And thus, this book is the renewal of a war declaration. It asks the traitors to Europe, the miserable party politicians who tenure in office dependent upon their continued serviceability to extra-European forces. Did you think it was over? Did you think that your misery and shame will remain securely forever on the world stage, which has true heroes upon it? In the war which you let lose, you taught men how to die, and thereby have freed a spirit which will engulf you next, the spirit of heroism and discipline. There's no currency that can buy this spirit, but it can overcome any currency. Lastly, this book is itself the first blow in the gigantic war for the liberation of Europe. The prime enemy is the traitor within Europe, who alone makes possible the striving looting of Europe by the outer forces. He is the source of symbol of chaos and death. Between him and the spirit of the 20th century is the remitting war.